It's March, time for some March Madness, but not just basketball, as some craziness happened on the ice.
Plus, spring and fall sports get their season started. We'll show you the highlights. Sports Paws starts right now. Welcome to Studio 125. I'm Clever Streich.
And I'm John Surratt. Let's get right into it. Let's start the show off on the ice, but not for Quinnipiac, as the Colgate Raiders and St. Lawrence Saints faced off in the ECAC hockey semifinals to play Quinnipiac for the championship. Who won? Let's roll it. Colgate, St. Lawrence coming in. Both teams vying for this ECAC hockey championship spot against Quinnipiac. We'll start in the first period as Tucker McIntosh hasn't played since January 10th, but he'll get on the board first for the St. Lawrence Saints, making it 1-0 as they celebrate him getting back on the ice and making an impact right away. Here, though, Colgate short-handed as Josh McKechnie. He'll get the assisted goal from Colton Young, making it 1-1 as they celebrate in the corner there. Into the second period again, still 1-1. However, Colgate, after that goal, will find it right around the net here as scramble in front. Jeff Stewart, though, pokes it home, giving the Raiders the 2-1 lead. Here, though, on the power play for the Saints, as Cameron Buell, you'll hear his name later on. He'll pick the corner, though, making it 2-2 with 10:45 left in the second period as they celebrate that one. However, Colgate will answer right back near the end of the second as Evan Schum pokes one home. Another scramble. He'll make it 3-2. Colgate going into third. Will they win it? Let's find out. Third period, though, St. Lawrence off the face-off. Dylan Wolf scores it, making it 3-3, 15:24 left. However, a minute, 14 seconds later, Tucker McIntosh again gets his second goal, making it 4-3, St. Lawrence. However, does Colgate have an answer in the box? Yes, they do. Just under 10 minutes remaining here. Tyler Johnson backhands it, making it 4-4 with 9:47, and we got overtime, folks. However, we'll start with not a goal highlight here, but a save as Emil Zetterhurst makes this incredible save there, Clever, around the net. And then here, St. Lawrence, Cameron Buell, I said you'll hear his name, and you will. He'll score the game winner, making 5-4 St. Lawrence, going to play Quinnipiac.
After their overtime victory, St. Lawrence faced Quinnipiac for the ECAC Hockey Championship on Saturday. Let's roll the highlight. Here we go, St. Lawrence Saints and Quinnipiac Bobcats at the People's United Center. White Bongiovanni in the line for the first time since September 26th for the special championship game. Here we go, let's go on to the first period. St. Lawrence is going to strike first as it's Caden Pickering who's going to find the rebound off of Petrozelli. Makes this a 1-0 game for the Saints early on. On to the second now. Dean Tufter, the captain, from a tough angle, is going to tie the game halfway through the second period. Makes this a 1-1 game, knotted up at 1. Quinnipiac and the Saints set to go. And it's just going to be 12 seconds later here. St. Lawrence turns this over, and Wyatt Bongiovanni returns to the lineup, gives the Bobcats a 1-goal lead. They're up 2-1. Second period, we go into the third now with just 4 minutes left. Justin Paul finds a rebound, and St. Lawrence doesn't want to go home yet. It's a tie 2-2 game in the third period. We're going to head on to overtime now. It all comes down to this as David Jankowski is going to cut to the middle and rips one right past Keith Petrozelli, and that's going to do it. St. Lawrence wins the 2021 ECAC Hockey Whitelaw Championship Cup, and 3-2 is your final score in Hamden.
Unfortunately for the Saints, after winning the ECAC Hockey Championship, the Saints had a Tier 1 COVID-19 positive test, which ended their season entirely. So now Quinnipiac will receive the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament after losing the championship. March is full of madness, but that could not have come at a worse time for the Saints. And with that, we will take a look at the full NCAA tournament starting on March 26th. We'll look at the West region here as it shows Minnesota, Duluth versus Omaha, 1-2 seeds, and then Minnesota State and will play Quinnipiac to start in the West region in Loveland, Colorado.
Going into the NCAA tournament, Quinnipiac captain Odin Tufto has been racking up the awards. Tufto has been announced as a finalist for the Hobie Baker Award. He's one of 10 nominees for the best college player in the nation this year. He has also been named to the ECAC Hockey First Team, as well as been named the ECAC Hockey Player of the Year.
Tufto wasn't the only Bobcats to rank in some awards this season. And net for the Bobcats, Keith Petruzzelli also was named as a Hobie Baker finalist and won the ECAC Hockey Goalie of the Year.
Well, with all the stunning developments about the men's ice hockey team getting an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, we welcome beat reporter Ryan Flaherty into the studio. Now, Ryan, what happened over the weekend in the ECAC hockey tournament from your eyes?
Thanks for having me, guys. I think the biggest takeaway from me is that they just weren't ready to go in that first game on Saturday, and we saw it a couple weekends ago when they played Colgate in their game. They just really weren't creating any 5-on-5 chances. They were looking for power plays, and it just really wasn't a recipe for success. Rand Pecknold even admitted in the post-game press conference that he didn't have his team ready to go. They weren't prepared enough to come out of the gate, and I think that was the eye-opening for me and for many people that have covered this team this season.
Now, Ryan, we listed Keith and Odin as finalists for the Hobie Baker, but who do you think will win it at the end of the day?
Guys, two great players there, Odin Tufto and Keith Petruzzelli. Both had fantastic seasons. You mentioned Keith, the ECAC Hockey Goalie of the Year, Odin, the ECAC Hockey Player of the Year, but I would be shocked if it doesn't go to Cole Caulfield, the Wisconsin Badger sophomore. He has 28 goals in 30 games. His points per game is 1.63. He's done just about everything for that team. 10 power play goals, 5 game-winning goals. He has been consistently the best player in the nation, so it would be a shocker for me and I think to many if that award doesn't go to Cole Caulfield.
So, Ryan, with the NCAA tournament set, how do you think that Quinnipiac will fare this year?
That's an interesting question, Clever. I mean, we've seen their last two games. They really haven't played well. They haven't played to the Quinnipiac identity that we've seen them play with throughout the whole year. They've been a really good team. They have a lot of talented pieces, but they just haven't been able to get the job done. They're in a tough region with Minnesota, Omaha, and Minnesota State. I think, the great thing about a hockey tournament is that anyone has a chance to win. We saw just a few years ago, AIC knocked off the overall one-seed St. Cloud. So I give anyone a puncher's chance in this. I think Quinnipiac has a winnable game against Minnesota State, but I ultimately have them maybe winning that first game, but most likely losing in the second game.
And now, Ryan, at the end of the day, who are you going to have in the Frozen Four?
So let's start out west. I have North Dakota winning their region in Fargo. They're the #1 overall seed. They've been the best team in college hockey for pretty much all year long. They won the NCHC, and I think they're kind of a lock to win their region. We move on to Quinnipiac's region in Loveland, Colorado. Minnesota, they're coming off a Big Ten championship. They, again, have been consistently up in the rankings. I think, they're easily the best team in that conference, another 1 seed. So I'm going to go with Minnesota to come out of the Loveland region. UMass, I'm actually going to pick UMass. It's a tough region. Wisconsin's in that region. They played a really hard-fought Big Ten championship game, but UMass coming off a Hockey East title, I feel like they have a lot of momentum. I don't know if Cole Caulfield is going to be enough for the Badgers to get by the Minutemen, so I have UMass. And then finally, I have St. Cloud. And a bit of a shocker, a lot of people picking BC. BC, one of the better teams in the nation, but BC and BU in that region kind of limped their way through the Hockey East playoffs and at the end of the regular season. St. Cloud played a really, really good NCHC tournament, ultimately losing to North Dakota, who I feel is the best team in this tournament, but I have them in kind of a shocker, and that's my Frozen Four.
Well, thanks, Ryan. Hopefully your predictions will come true. But when we come back, we will take a look at spring and fall sports from the past weekend. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here.
Wait.
What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Hey, welcome back. Hopefully you didn't miss us over the break. Men's soccer took on Fairfield on Thursday to kick off their season, no pun intended. It was a double overtime thriller in Hamden as in the 108th minute, Alexander Holy scored the game-winning goal of the match for the Bobcats, securing a 1-0 victory over the Stags.
The Bobcats then played their next game Sunday against the Niagara Purple Eagles. Let's show the highlights. As you can see, fans are now allowed into stadiums. We'll get into that update later on in the show. But it's 0-0 as the soccer team talks about some strategy going into the game. We'll start though in the second half as Bobcats trying to get something going after a quiet first half. Paulo Suarez sends one into the box. David Bracetto does his best to keep it in, but can't keep the play alive. However, Quinnipiac on the attack again. Thomas Vakula sends a short pass to Brage Asen, who gets a shot off, but Niagara goalie comes up with the save here. Nice deflection by Niagara, but Niagara can't keep the Bobcats attack from going as Magnus Rice sends the ball over to Brage Asen, who touches it over to Areka Valerocks. As Niagara can't get it to can't stop it, Quinnipiac gets the 1-0 lead here, and then Rodrigo Almeida tries to head one lead late to the second half to tie it, but Jared Mazzola says no, making it 1-0. After the victory, Q30 men's soccer beat reporter Jonathan Banks recapped Sunday's action.
Can't bring it down in this midsection. Instead, he does and leaves it to Oriak Villa with the strike, and he scores! Oriak Villa with the brilliant finish as he launches that one into the bottom corner, and Quinnipiac out of nothing takes a 1-0 lead.
September 2018, Oriak Villa off the bench to score the game winner for Quinnipiac in their win against the University of Albany. March 2021, a lot has changed in those years, but Oriak Villa still doing the business off the bench for Eric DaCosta's squad as he scores in Quinnipiac's 1-0 win over Niagara. Let's see what Eric DaCosta had to say about his midfielder coming off the bench and also the goal that won the game.
He's been like that since he joined us. You know, he has this real knack for getting in the right place at the right time and scoring goals. You know, he's not a natural goal scorer because of his position. You know, he doesn't have a ton of chances, but you know, his conversion rate is probably better than anyone we've ever had. You know, he gets a couple of opportunities. You know, sometimes one a match, and he scores goals. So he's done that consistently throughout his career with us. He's a player who understands his role.
Whether it be from the substitutes bench or in the starting 11, Oriak Villa is going to have a big role to play this season for the Bobcats. He'll look to extend that goal streak from 1 game to 2 games as Quinnipiac hosts Siena, and the return of Grassi Brito Thursday at 2:30. Reporting from Quinnipiac University, Jonathan Banks, Q30 Sports.
Let's jump to women's lacrosse now as they hosted Iona over the weekend. Instead of double OT from soccer, we had a triple overtime finish on Friday in the first game against Iona. Score was tied 14-14, and Desiree Clayberg scored the game-winning goal to cap off her 4-goal game, giving the Bobcats a big victory.
The Bobcats then took on the Gales again. Sunday, this game was close, but not as close as the Bobcats swept Iona, winning this one 19-15 as junior Maddie Deegan led the way with 4 goals on the day. And graduate student Megan Slazowski finished with 3 goals and 3 assists, making Quinnipiac 3-2 on the season.
Now heading over to the Diamond, Quinnipiac baseball faced off against the Monmouth Hawks in 2 doubleheaders over the weekend. Let's look at Saturday's action. Starting off the day Saturday against Monmouth, Quinnipiac came out firing as their pitching held their shutout, and their offense was led by Evan Volgamore hitting his first home run of the season, winning 5-0. Next game, though, was not as easy as it was a tight contest throughout, but 4 total runs by the Hawks in the 8th and 9th led to Monmouth winning 8-5, splitting the doubleheader.
And now into Sunday. After an eventful Saturday, the Bobcats had to come right back out for games 3 and 4 against the Monmouth Hawks. The day, however, did end in 2 losses for the Bobcats instead of the split. In the first game, the pitching was there, but the offense was not, losing 5-3. In the second, though, things flipped as the offense came out, but pitching lacked as they lost 11-7. Quinnipiac starts the season 1-3. And from baseball to softball, as Quinnipiac headed to Lawrenceville to take on Ryder Bronx to start their season. In Game 1, the Bobcats came away victorious, as we'll see, as they won 7-5, as 4 different players had 4 RBIs, but then Game 2 was not the same as the Bobcats lost 8-5 to split the doubleheader over the week on Saturday.
After splitting 2 games on Saturday, the Bobcats came into games 2 and 3 looking to get back on track. However, things did not work out for Quinnipiac and Lawrenceville as they lost 2 close games to the Ryder Bronx. Game 3 ended 8-7, and in a similar fashion, Game 4 finished in a 1-run game by the score of 9-8, despite a late push for the Bobcats to mount a comeback.
And when we come back from break, we talk about Bobcat Nation coming back to the stands as we saw earlier, and of course, top 5 plays. Don't go anywhere.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. Glad you're sticking around. Let's get into it. As Quinnipiac field hockey team, after starting their season 0-3, the team had to face the dominant Yukon Huskies. Let's see if they can get it done here, as they have been struggling against the Huskies, but they'll try and change this one. We'll roll into the first quarter. However, off the corner, I.E. Young for Yukon to Sophie Hamilton, who sets it up for Claire Jean DeWorth. She'll fire it back in the net, giving Yukon the 1-0 lead. Still in the first. Later, though, Sophie Hamilton takes it up the right side, slides past all of the Bobcat defenders, splits the defense, and what a shot to finish it off. She puts the Huskies up by 2 going in to the second quarter. Now in the second quarter again, Yukon on the corner as they had 14 compared to Quinnipiac 0. This one finds the back of the net to tip it in by Anna Haran. Huskies lead by 3. And now later in the second, I.E. Young finds Erica Solomon, who fires one from the top of the arc. Quick shot puts the Huskies up 4-0. Third quarter, Yukon keeps on rolling as Sophie Hamilton, you saw her before, she'll split again all the Bobcat defenders, and she'll roll right in there, making it her second goal of the game, making it 5-0, and we've still got one more quarter to play. Fourth quarter here, as this is the hat trick by Sophie Hamilton. She'll finish it off. Huskies win 6-0 in Hamden.
After a brutal loss to Yukon, the field hockey team looked to rebound against the Providence Friars, and that they did as Quinnipiac took a 2-0 victory thanks to first-year goalie Nina Santor's 8-save shutout. The strong performance by the first-year goalie has resulted in her being named Big East Rookie of the Week for the second time this season.
After having to schedule to play Marist, the Quinnipiac volleyball team ended up going on the road to play the Iona Gales after having their 2 games with Marist canceled. The team ended up having to play against Iona, losing 3-1. First set, Iona won, but Quinnipiac matched, tied up, but then Iona won the last 2 sets.
Even though the basketball season is over, big news happened this weekend for the Quinnipiac men's basketball team as an old face in Kevin Marfo is returning to Hamden. After transferring from Quinnipiac to Texas A&M, Marfo entered the transfer portal after 1 season in the SEC and is rejoining Baker Dunleavy to make another run at a MAC championship.
Sticking with transfers in the men's basketball team, junior guard Tyree Pickron entered his name into the transfer portal a few days after first-year guard Bull Acott entered his name into it as well. Pickron struggled with injuries and playing time over his Bobcats tenure and announced the decision on Instagram.
Good news this past weekend for the first time in a long time as Bobcat Nation was back in the stands as of March 19th. Students can now attend outdoor games in person on a first-come, first-served basis at a reduced capacity. Also, up to 2 parents per student-athlete will be admitted to outdoor games.
And now, though fans are being allowed, Quinnipiac men's lacrosse is still having their own issues due to COVID-19 after having their last game against Marist postponed. Their next scheduled game against Siena was postponed as well. And their next game against St. Bonaventure will be played on March 27th, who they lost to previously to start the season. And now, Clever, it's your first time hosting, but do you know what time it is?
Oh, yes, sir. It's time for our top 5 plays of the week.
Great. I'll take the odds. You take the even?
Sounds good.
All right. We'll start with the play 5 here, as it is men's soccer as Josh Tufino finds Bragiasin for Arica Villarostis. As you saw it earlier in the Niagara highlight, Hills score the game winner there to give the Bobcats the 1-0 victory.
Play 4, heading over to the field hockey field. It's going to be Sophie Hamilton who's going to convert this penalty stroke for Yukon in style. Let's check this one out in slow motion. And the ball is going to go right past the Quinnipiac goalie and into the top right corner.
That finished off her hat trick there.
Beautiful goal.
And we'll go into play number 3, and we're sticking with field hockey here again. Sophie Hamilton shows right by all the Bobcat defenders. That's her second goal of the game. Showed her third earlier. Yukon wins 6-0.
Heading out to Fuels United Center, we'll pick up action in the first. It's going to be David Jankowski. Once again, we see this clip firing a shot on goal, and Hayden Pickering finds the rebound. He's going to clean up the garbage right in front of the net. St. Lawrence up.
Sticking with hockey for play, number 1 of the week, ECAC Hockey Championship. This is Quinnipiac's highlight, though, as Skylar Brindamore finds Wyatt Bongiovanni, who puts it right over the goalie's shoulder for the one-timer. St. Lawrence, though, wins 3-2. And now with the past week behind us, let's look at the upcoming games this weekend. As we'll start, as it shows baseball playing Ryder at Ryder on Saturday. Men's lacrosse will go face St. Bonaventure. Softball is at home against Monmouth on Saturday, and women's lacrosse is at Monmouth on Sunday.
As well, let's look at some more games as we are jam-packed this weekend. We got men's soccer taking on Siena this Thursday, 2:30 p.m. at home. We got field hockey. UConn's going to try and Quinnipiac's going to try and get some vengeance on UConn after a tough loss. They're going to run it back Friday at 3 p.m. Women's soccer is going to go up against the Jaspers at home Tuesday, 3 p.m. start. And we also got a volleyball game against Fairfield coming up this week as well. And this is going to be Sunday at 12 p.m.
That's a big matchup for Quinnipiac Field Hockey, trying to get their season back on track.
Absolutely. Want to continue that positive momentum after the big win against Providence. So there we go. Yet another Sports Pause in the books. How did you feel about that one, John?
It was great. It was your first time on air. How'd you feel?
I had an amazing time. Thank you so much for having me on here. And, you know, as we know, it's this crazy March season. We've got all these sports going on. It's so hard to keep track sometimes. But thank you for having with me, John. This was an absolute blast. And I had a great time. How do you feel about tonight's show?
I think it was great. I think you did great. I think we all did great. Everyone behind the scenes as well. It was a blast to be on air with you, especially with March Madness. Playing right now, Maryland versus Alabama is the current game going on, but we'll see how that one checks out.
Well, thank you to everyone who made this behind the scenes, who made this show possible. Make sure you check out all of our content on Q30TV.com and follow us on social media at Q30 Sports, and be sure to download the new Q30 app on all of your devices. For John Surratt, I'm Clever Streich. Good night from Hampton.